Nanginangwela kuzatinita Nanginotia go ayane wakabe Oh ine ayamene wada
Here is the Enkoya, majestic and rare. This bird species, in danger of extinction, only lives on the east coast of Madagascar. Its habitat, mangroves, is one of the WWF's priority ecosystems. Mangrove forests, in good condition, represent unique habitats. The activities of companies working in these sites can damage this particularly rare biodiversity. However, there do exist some companies whose practices exemplify efforts to minimize impacts to the environment. Such is the case of UNIMA. Seafood, originating from both wild and farm sources, feeds approximately 950 million people around the world. Over the next 40 years, these fishery resources will experience growing demand. In effect, consumption will likely double as the population will grow by around 30%. UNIMA has been working in Madagascar in aquaculture since the 1990s. The group sites are located to the north of Majanga on the west coast of Madagascar. Muramba, common breeding grounds for shrimp. Mifuku, larval rearing site, and Besakua, in the Bay of Madzamba, where impressive shrimp farming ponds as well as the factory are located. For biosecurity reasons and in order to avoid contamination, these sites are located far from one another. To the north of its shrimp farming sites, UNIMA has established another of its companies, Virama Cashew Plantation, which serves as an effective carbon sink. The shrimp farming story begins with the breeding stock. Carefully selected and systematically crossed, the breeding stock is UNIMA's strongest capital. 140 genetically crossed families produce 15,000 breeding pairs each year. These pairs assure high-quality production of eggs throughout the year.
C'est un géniteur qui est domestiqué, qui n'a pas de maladie et qui produit beaucoup d'œufs de qualité qui permettent de faire des crevettes qui grossissent bien et avec des bonnes survies. Pour faire ça, donc, il faut contrôler l'ensemble des paramètres. Et c'est ce qu'on fait dans nos installations. Donc, pour que les animaux se sentent bien, comme on peut s'occuper de vaches dans une ferme, parce que quelque part il faut quand même aimer ces animaux pour arriver à les élever correctement.
Eggs hatch and form larvae called naupli. So begins life on the farm for these future shrimp. Larvae begin their journey and are transferred to Mifuku. Larvae remain here for 21 days until they reach a size of 10 to 12 millimeters, 6 to 7 milligrams. Water used for their growth is filtered and treated several times. At UNIMA, they control each step down to the minor details. Then, once they have achieved the proper size, the young shrimp are transferred to the farming ponds. Here, larvae are counted before being integrated into the ponds, where they will continue to grow. It is important to know the density in order to ensure they are adequately fed. During a period ranging from 120 to 160 days, depending on the season, these young shrimp are fed regularly, day and night. They are monitored continuously. According to eco-friendly aquaculture, they never exceed 5–10 shrimp per square meter. This implies a significant task for a farm of 81 production ponds that extend over 1,000 hectares of water, including the channel. Shrimp must reach the ideal size to be harvested. We open the ponds. As soon as we take them out of the water, we plunge them into ice water. Thus starts the cold chain that cannot be interrupted until the product is delivered to the final consumer. 18 tons are harvested daily in this site. shrimp are packaged according to their size, following strict hygienic conditions. UNIMA shrimp are the first in the world to have been awarded the French quality certification Label Rouge. This certification guarantees a high-quality product.
Étant certifié Label Rouge, Aqualma doit répondre à un cahier de charges très exigeant. Et cette exigence, avec notre savoir-faire unique, nous permet de produire des crevettes d'une saveur incomparable. C'est à la fois fraîche, ferme, croquante et juteuse.
However, shrimp farming, in accordance with the norms of Label Rouge, is not the only example of UNIMA's best practices. Since the establishment of UNIMA in Bessacour, a village with 10 houses in its early days, there have been significant changes. Today, around 4,000 people live in Bessacour. UNIMA has financed the construction of schools in all of its sites. Over 7,300 pupils have attended school so far. UNIMA is committed to the local population, its employees, and to the environment. That is why a sustainable community development program is implemented in every site in which UNIMA is present. The education of young pupils is at the heart of UNIMA's concerns in order to offer children with future prospects. With 3 health centers, the population benefits from medical coverage and healthcare consultations in dental and maternity care, family planning, pediatrics, and are provided with minor surgeries. Infant mortality rate is particularly low in regions near UNIMA sites. Thanks to affording costs, all local population can profit from it.
Tena misy fivoarana be mihitsy nahatongavana école zany tanàna. Tamin'ny taloha daizaka be mihitsy aty ala be tsy vakondambo mihitsy. Janon'omby. Zay ny teta. Dia rehefa tonga ma école zany dia niara-ny monina teto zay. Nanjava le toerana. Ary nanajary koa reo. Misy tombontsoa be mihitsy nazonay amin'ny fivoaran'le tanàna nadio natao tanàna mendriky mihitsy fenerivo Bessacour rehefa tonga teto reo. Dia ny fivoaran'ny fiainako manokana zany avy amin'ny école dia mitsabo maimaimpogna ao amin'ny fianakaviako zany sy ny tenako.
UNIMA's sites in Madagascar are placed in exceptional locations. Rare flora and fauna coexist in a natural landscape. The environment plays a key role in shrimp aquaculture, which is the reason why UNIMA ensures its protection. Respect for the environment is one of the fundamental values of the group. In this way, mangroves purify the water used in the ponds prior to being discharged into the rivers. The forests simultaneously provide the basis of life for the population and the buffer zone, protecting the sites from external contamination. Clean water is essential to larvae farming. In Muramba, Verama has planted 45 hectares of forest designated to energy resource purposes to provide its employees the opportunity to use charcoal produced from a renewable source. Cashew plantations follow the principles of organic farming. The soils are fertilized with the leguminous plants of the region.
Nous allons obtenir des noix qui se vendent plus cher, puisque là c'est des amandes certifiées, mais aussi qu'on contribue énormément à l'amélioration et à la protection de l'environnement. Puisque là on n'utilise pas d'engrais de synthèse, on n'utilise pas de pesticides, on crée un milieu qui est favorable au développement.
To ensure the viability of the cashew planting project, Verama decided to enter into the carbon market by leveraging its large plantation.
Le WWF à Madagascar a décidé de travailler avec UNIMA parce que c'est un groupe qui a déjà montré sa volonté de développer de bonnes pratiques en termes d'environnement et des normes sociales. Et donc c'est un partenaire de choix pour WWF pour promouvoir la protection de la biodiversité et des pratiques durables localement et de promouvoir ces pratiques plus globalement, notamment à l'échelle nationale, et d'influencer l'industrie dans la bonne direction.
It is not impossible for a company to develop while respecting both nature and human beings. WWF has developed this strategy in collaboration with UNIMA in order to establish a respectful use of biodiversity, species and the landscape. It is vital for the private sector to satisfy this demand in a responsible way and to develop best practices with respect for local communities and the environment. Also to make it possible for future generations to come and admire the fauna in its natural environment.